So you're a developer, maybe a junior dev, and you're worried about AI taking your job. Look, you're not alone. But what if I told you that AI is actually creating this massive new opportunity, but only for those who are willing to adapt? Let's cut through the noise and the panic and get right to the playbook for how you can thrive in this completely new world. It is a seriously confusing time, isn't it? One minute you hear about these massive layoffs at major companies, and the very next you're reading about this insane, unprecedented tech boom. So, what gives? What's the real story here? Is the industry collapsing or is it about to take off? Okay, so this slide just lays it all out. It's the paradox we're all living through. Over here, you've got record profits. Stocks are through the roof. And then, on the other side, thousands of brilliant engineers are getting pink slips. This isn't just a simple boom or bust cycle. Something much, much deeper is happening. The entire industry's economic engine is it's being rewired right in front of our eyes. Okay, so to really get what's going on, we have to look at the old way of doing things, the model that AI is just completely blowing up. It all comes down to why pure human effort just isn't worth what it used to be. For decades, right, the IT industry ran on this thing called labor arbitrage. Sounds fancy, but it's actually pretty simple. It just meant that companies could outsource huge projects to places where labor was cheaper. A client would get billed based on a really straightforward formula: how many developers worked and for how many hours. The bigger the project, the more bodies you threw at it. Super simple. More work just meant more people. And this whole world, this entire business model, was built on one quiet little assumption. It was the idea that the only way to scale software production was to scale the number of humans working on it. That was it, a simple, linear equation. And now, well, it's totally broken. So what does this new world actually look like? Well, think about it this way. The old industry was like a taxi meter, right? You were billed for every single minute, even the time you were stuck in traffic. But now AI has basically invented the teleporter. And clients, they don't care about the journey anymore, not at all. They just care about the destination. They're paying for the result, the working system, not the hours some human spent building it. Okay, so this huge shift is creating a really specific and honestly kind of dangerous new shape to the job market. The industry isn't just shrinking across the board. Nope. It's polarizing. It's hollowing out right in the middle. And this is what we're calling a barbell market. Just look at the chart. On one end, you've got this desperate, soaring demand for super high-level architects, the people who can design and manage these incredibly complex new systems. But then, look at the other end. The demand for those classic entry-level and mid-level developer jobs, it's just falling off a cliff. And this right here, this is maybe the biggest problem. The traditional way people learned, the grunt work, the simple bug fixes, writing boilerplate code, the routine tests, that stuff was the training grounds for junior developers. And it's just vanishing. AI does that kind of work instantly now. So those first rungs on the career ladder, they're disappearing. So that leads to a pretty scary question, right? If the bottom rungs of the ladder are gone, how does anyone even start to climb? How do you ever become a senior developer? It's a genuine structural crisis for the whole industry. I mean, where are tomorrow's architects supposed to come from? All right, so that's the problem. It's a big one. But don't worry, I'm not going to just leave you there. Let's talk about the solution, your new playbook. And it's all about making this one critical shift in your mind, from being a coder to becoming an orchestrator. Your big opportunity, it lives right here, in what we call the integration gap. See, AI is amazing. It can write flawless, perfect code in a vacuum, but it has absolutely zero context. It doesn't understand your company's business goals, it doesn't get office politics, and it has no clue how to plug its shiny new code into that messy 10-year-old legacy system that actually runs the business. And think about it like this. Just because an AI can lay 10,000 bricks a second doesn't mean you automatically get a house. In fact, it makes the job of the architect, the engineer, infinitely more complex and way more valuable. You're the one who has to provide the blueprint, check the foundation, and manage the whole crazy project. This means your entire professional identity has to change, fundamentally. Saying, "I am a Python developer," is quickly becoming irrelevant. Your value isn't in how well you know a specific tool anymore. Your new identity has to be, "I am a systems-level problem solver who uses AI to get results." So what does that actually look like day to day? Well, it means you have to be the one who can take a vague, fuzzy request from a product manager and translate it into a super precise prompt for a machine.
It means you're the person who guarantees the system doesn't fall over when traffic suddenly spikes. And it means you've got to be able to jump in and master whatever custom in-house AI tools a company has built. These are the human skits. They're hard to automate, and that's where the real money is now. Okay, let's make this real. What does this look like in your portfolio? Forget building another simple weather app just to show you know the syntax. A modern portfolio project proves you can manage a system. So, for example, build an app that takes in a bunch of messy, unstructured data like customer support emails. Then, use one AI model to figure out the sentiment. Use a different one to cross-reference product IDs in your database. And then, have it all output a clean, structured, actionable report to a dashboard. See the difference? You're not just showing you can write a for loop. You're showing you can orchestrate a complex solution to a chaotic, real-world business problem. All right, let's wrap this all up and look at the big picture. This isn't about the death of tech jobs. Not at all. It's about the death of easy tech jobs. This new reality, it demands a much higher level of thinking, of adaptability than ever before. And if you remember one thing, let it be this. The execution belongs to the machine. The strategy belongs to the human. You have to stop trying to compete with the machine on execution. It's a losing battle. Your entire focus needs to shift to providing the context, the judgment, and the strategic direction that the machine just doesn't have. You're the editor now, not the typist.
And let's be really clear about something. The danger isn't that a robot is going to literally come and sit at your desk. The real danger is spending all your time and energy preparing for a version of the industry that's already gone. You have to let go of the old way of thinking and fully embrace this new role as a strategist, an orchestrator. It's not a choice anymore. It's a necessity for survival. And that leaves us with one last kind of mind-bending question. We figured out that for now, human value lies in providing strategy and context. But what happens in 5 years or 10 when AI agents get good enough to understand that context and form their own strategies? What's the human's role then? That's the question we all need to start thinking about, because that future is coming a whole lot faster than you think.